just said? That's terrible. And it's Twinkie? No. Really like, no, you can't show my queen's poop. Or they'd be like, yes, you can.
Gross.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Life is Daijoubu Chainsaw Man special, episode 4 today. My name is Cole. I'm joined by Skylar and Thane. Say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I feel weird when you introduce us.
Oh my! It's because I know Thane's gonna come up with some stupid name, and you're not too far behind him either, buddy boy.
Hi guys, welcome to Life is Daijoubu. My name's Cole. My name's Sky. I'm joined by Cole and Thane. Say hi, guys.
So you can do it too. Want to do it?
Hi, my name.
Sure,
Gosh, dang.
if you want me to.
Instant
Hi.
no.
Hi, welcome to Chainsaw Man Weekly. I am Thane, and those guys over there, I don't remember their names.
See, it would get something like that if I didn't.
That's true, yeah.
Anyway, today we're gonna be going over episode 4 of Chainsaw Man. Woo!
Yay.
Basically the wrap up of the Bat Devil mini arc, I guess you could call it, or just the Power backstory arc. It's not really an arc. It's literally like, I guess you could call it arc. I don't know what else you'd call it now that I'm
Just
thinking about it.
Character introduction, I guess.
Yeah.
The Leech Titty Monster arc.
It's got some, sure had some ditties.
Got some mommy milkers.
Well, anyway, just to recap for the structure of the podcast, the first half-ish of the episode is going to be spoiler-free. It's going to be only up to the episode that we are talking about, that we're going to talk about, like spoiler-esque wise. And then around the halfway point, we're going to go right into manga spoilers and completely just, if we have anything to say about the manga or spoiler-esque stuff in general, we will. And at the very, very end, we're going to be just going over the chapter just because it's there. Might as well. Which is chapter 108 of the manga. But anyway, episode 4 of Chainsaw Man. It covered in volume 2. It covered chapter 9, 10, and 11 completely. It added a little bit of extra I guess slice of life moments, if you will, where like Aki's making his breakfast, he's going to his daily life, he wakes up, with his alarm clock. That's not in the manga. That's 100% anime original. So just a little bit more fun context, like you get to see the personality of his daily life and all that. But that's what it covered. 3 chapters pretty much on the dot. What do you guys think of this episode?
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked the fight scene in the beginning. It was cool. It was
The titty monster?
Yeah, the big old freaking titty monster. Go ahead, say it.
With elongated nipples.
Well, it was like udders, rather.
They
I would call
like-
them udders.
They looked like balloon animals that weren't quite blown up
Yo,
all the way.
that's even better than what I was thinking. Yeah, not udders. Balloon animals
At
aren't blown
some
up all the
points when
way.
he's running, it looks like the mocap animation looks like it's running on a green screen sometimes because of...
Oh, like rotoscoping a
yeah,
little bit?
Yeah, it's... The animation looks a bit awkward because I guess they're trying to simulate he's kind of skating across the floor.
Yeah.
I saw that. It's like, that kind of looks like green screen at some points. And there's no CG, surprisingly.
There is.
There is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Whenever it showed Denji, like, you know how he had his, like, chainsaw sticking out, like, just a little bit?
Yeah.
Basically, whenever it was close to his face, it was always CG.
Well, they've done better at hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice
agree.
it either.
Yeah. I think the way they probably made this episode is like a rotoscoping-esque, but for animation. So they basically just animate Denji without the background, and then they just put the background behind him, so he's moving on top of the background. I'm assuming that's all it was, but I agree. It was a little strange at times. Regardless, though, the choreography of the fight was far better than I ever expected, because this devil literally shows up for 1 chapter, and that's it. You don't see them ever again. Like, the fight takes place in the span of, like, 3 or 4 pages in the manga, from what I remember. But, like, they flush it out and fleshed out for more ways than one, if you know what I mean. They really did show off a lot more of the fight than they did in the manga, which is cool in my opinion. I think that's what the animation's for, is to show off more of what is happening rather than just, boom, dead.
Yeah, it reminds me of like following the animation rules where you have like a start, a middle, and then an end, and then they fill in the in-between frames is what they call them. But with anime, it's like you've got panels that are completely different, but they're telling the story in the same manner, and they're just filling in the in-between panels, I guess, if you will, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, especially when it's like almost like a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
When they do it, like I've noticed like Chainsaw Man, as the weeks go, there's been a lot less 1-for-1 manga panel shots. Not obvious ones anyway, but I think that's good. I think it's okay. I think it's fine as long as it looks good and does what it's supposed to do, and I think it's been doing so good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing that we're starting to see now, obviously we're just getting little glimpses of it, but Denji's changing the people around him, or at least people are taking notice of him. Yeah, he's a freaking moron. He's an idiot at times, but Power is starting to change. She's like, wow, is this kid really laying his life on the line for a pair of boobies? It's making her contemplate things. And then when Aki was talking to Makima, she's like, oh, you're getting soft, aren't you? Or whatever. Because he's kind of looking at Denji as like a little brother, I'd assume.
Oh, totally.
So that's really interesting. I also thought it was interesting that Makima called Aki a collar for both of them.
Keep them on a leash.
Keep them on a leash.
Keep those crazy kids on a leash. It's like when you got your really crazy rambunctious kids and you go to Disneyland, so you like get those like kid leashes. You can, you're doing that. That's what Aki's doing. He's taking his kids to Disneyland.
Yeah. It's just interesting that she didn't say he was a leash or to leash them. She called him specifically a collar for them. Like he is the collar leashing them, I guess.
Oh, instead of like the one guiding them. He's
yeah,
making sure they don't get out of line.
He's literally the collar, yeah. What's around their neck and whatnot. Because I would assume that Makima is the one with the leash. She's the one controlling it all.
You'd think. She's like the head of it,
Yeah.
Just
interesting, I guess.
I wanted to point out that the parallel between Denji and Power is very much so apparent in this episode than it ever was, in my opinion, in the manga. Like, looking back in hindsight, it's pretty obvious that, like, Power's, I guess, origin story, I guess, if you will, is very parallel to Denji's in a sense where they don't really think anything's worth it. They don't really see that there's anything to care about. And over time, they both kind of find things to care about. Obviously, and like even more so obvious with like Pochita and Meowie. Like they're both got pets. It's literally the same thing. So it's not just a parallel. It's like almost a 1-for-1 at that point. But I just thought it was really interesting, especially how Power was kind of like recognizing that. They really showed her understanding face in the anime. More so than they did in the manga, where it's like showing her realizing, like, yeah, exactly what you were saying. Like, this dude, right? There's no way he's just doing this just to touch my boobs or whatever. Like, it's crazy that he would or whatever.
And I think part of that comes from the fact where she already started to view life differently.
Totally.
Because of the cat. She's like, well, I used to just like blood because I like to drink it, but now I realize that blood is warm. And comforting.
Cuddle to.
Yeah, so it's just interesting that she views life differently because of that, and I think seeing Denji be a moron and want to touch boobs is probably making her wonder, like, there's got to be something else, right, besides the fact that he just wants to touch my tits.
What's interesting is on the flip side, he's looking for that too.
Yeah.
And that's why it works really, really well in
Yeah.
their situations.
He's looking for that the good stuff.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
Get it, grab past the good stuff and get to the even better stuff. Am I right?
Yeah.
An actual true relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
That's how there's boobies.
Yeah.
The other like big thing that I really, really liked, and I loved the way that they animated it too, was when Power first moves into Aki's apartment. Denji and Aki are both just freaking livid. They're like, get the freaking, like, you need a wash up. You're gross. You need a plunge your toilet and all that. And like they almost had like this pseudo bonding moment together because of that. And I just thought that was really cool. It's almost like they became brothers in that moment.
Yeah.
But then it's also hilarious to know that literally one episode ago, Denji was doing the same thing Power was doing, and Aki was fed up with it too. And like, and it just goes to show that Denji's grown, I guess, quote unquote, grown in a little bit over the span of an episode, where he's become more
responsible in a way.
I was thinking civilized, like normal. I don't know, because like when he was like in his little shack, I'm sure he didn't like bother
to shower
all that much. He really couldn't. So the fact that he was able to, I think that's kind of like civilized. I don't know if civilized is the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The difference, I think, is that Denji was taking it more in stride. where
Totally,
it's like
totally.
he was actually enjoying. He was really living, and then Power over here is just taking it for granted. Where it's like, oh yeah, it's just a house. I'm a selfish bitch.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that one 100%. That's a great way to put it into words.
What I've always really liked about Fujimoto, and seeing this again with the anime is just really fun, is he says things, or rather has his characters say things that is very real, where it's like, that's something I would say, or that's something kids would say. Like when he's pissed at her because she took a dump and he called her the poop devil, and she's like, it's like your poop stains all over this freaking toilet. And it's just funny. Like I don't know. It's definitely, the humor's definitely up my alley. It's very dumb, but also real, I guess, in a sense of like, what the freak, dude? You clogged our effing toilet.
You see how much toilet paper is sticking out
Yeah.
of that thing?
They're like, flush it. She's like, I flush sometimes. It's like, what? Flush your... And they specifically say the word dump and poop devil and poop stain. And it's just
Yeah.
funny. Like, you don't really ever see that in manga. At least I don't, anyway, that I can think of in like any of the recent ones I've seen.
It makes you wonder, like, what the translation makes that it. Is it like supposed to be like a
Like
slang term? I guess like we would use it as a slang term. Like it would make sense because that's where they translate it into like a slang
Yeah.
term. So I don't know. Kind of interesting to think.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead, Thane.
when you see poop in anime, it's usually a pink swirl. Well, that's the censored version. Sometimes it's a pink swirl, like they pooped out their intestines, and sometimes it'll be a brown swirl.
I didn't actually see any poop
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
saw
in the
Toilet
toilet.
paper.
In the toilet, and I'm
Yeah,
thanks
but-
Mappa for that one. I appreciate that. I didn't want to see the poop.
They would have made that shit look
All those,
realistic.
All those power stands would be
Yeah.
like, they'd either go really like, no, you can't show my queen's poop, or they'd be like, yes, you can.
Gross.
It's like, can you mail it to me
Oh my god.
So-
in a Twinkie?
I guess real quick, just on record,
I just realized what you said. That's terrible. And it's Twinkie. No,
No, there's this girl on Twitch who would actually mail her
wait,
poop.
no.
in
no.
a Twinkie.
Oh my
Would people pay
gosh,
for
What? How much?
Oh. When
No,
I heard that, I
I'm,
was
I'm
like,
genuinely curious. How much was she selling it for?
I don't remember. I was so grossed out.
Yeah, that's
and
it's
she had to
terrible,
mark it in the on the package where
It's
it's
like
this
hazardous
is
waste.
no. It said
but you
like
have to, right?
no. She said this is for
Consumption.
research purposes, like medical research. Like you know how
Not
they have
for
to
consumption.
yeah, we have to where sometimes where they have to doctors have to ship like probably samples of like
So
bodily
like,
samples
so
or
they can
in
test people's
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, like she probably put
That's how
that.
they labeled it.
Yeah, it's like.
Yikes.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Moving on.
Yeah,
Moving
so
on.
on record, before we move into spoiler territory, are you guys power stands or
No, not at
Makima?
all. I don't like Power that much. I just like her as a character, as a younger sister. Other than that, I don't care for her character.
I think she's fun. She brings a new dynamic. Like I thought Denji was like, "Ooh, I'm wacky," and then Power's like, "Hey."
Real talk, I've never liked Power that much. I just thought she's a great little sister character, and that's annoying. I never understood the simps. I never understood that. I could not get behind that personally. Especially, I remember reading that chapter. The like, I don't poop, I poop and I don't
Yeah.
flush, I don't take baths. Like I read them, it's just like people are into this. That's why I made the joke, and it's a real thing, I guess.
See, I've always liked Power too. I don't know if I was like into her, and I don't know if I ever wanted her and Denji to bone, because it was like a brother-sister relationship.
Yeah, that's my thought process.
Yeah, but I'm with Thane though. I think she's fun. She really does add a new dynamic to everything that's going on, and also like kind of gives Denji something to, I guess, protect, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Also, Fujimoto drew a detailed ass in the 10th chapter.
She's hot.
Yeah.
And I'm into it. She's kind of punk rock. She has devil horns. She's a blood devil. She's the poop devil.
I won't lie. I always liked Reze more. I don't think we'll even see her in this season, but I liked Reze a lot more.
We saw Eye Patch Girl. What was her freaking name? Yeah.
Himeno.
Yeah, she'll be prominent more next episode, just based on where the manga goes.
Yeah.
Well, she's great at the very end.
They
of
didn't
it,
even say her
probably.
name. They didn't say her,
They didn't even say
Kabeni,
her
or
name
the
at
other
all.
guy's name.
Yeah, I don't remember the other dude's
Yeah,
name. Either.
yeah.
I feel bad about always forgetting that dude's name. You only know Kabeni's name because of the freaking memes too.
Yeah. I forgot Himeno's name.
Himeno's relatively prominent just
Yeah.
because she's like the senior most person in Division 5.
And there's that one scene later in the manga, which will go in the manga spoiler. And
Yeah, we'll get into that one. It's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
if you know what we're talking about, you know. Anyway, any last things before we get into the manga spoilers? Any final things? I will say really quick, the animation I thought was really good in this one still. I did like him sliding around on the guts on the ground. I thought that was actually a really good detail. It made
and also he AT-AT'd the bleach monster.
Yeah. Wrapped his legs
Or is
up.
it AT?
Oh, yeah, the AT-AT.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like, with the freaking intestines and stuff. That was clever. I don't even remember that in the manga, but like if it was,
Remember
then
that
it's
old
hard to
movie
understand.
Empire Strikes Back? How old is this kid?
All right.
Oh, the last thing, I like the outro. I thought the music was fun.
I didn't care for the outro.
Yeah.
this time
I
either.
like the animation too. But
I also think it's because I wasn't a Power stan.
Yeah, I just like Power.
Yeah.
It was really cute and fun.
I definitely was just like, okay.
She's cute.
It was made
I don't dislike her. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out. I don't dislike her.
I like her design. I wouldn't have her as a girlfriend.
Oh, I'd probably have her as a girlfriend.
I wouldn't like her as a waifu at all. Okay, that's the end of the anime talk. Now we're going to go into manga spoilers. This is your final warning before we get into manga spoilers. If you don't want them, get out, leave, and don't be spoiled. Okay, now we're going to do some manga spoilers. I think we're ready.
Yeah, if you thought shit, Twinkie was bad.
Oh my gosh.
Wait until they animate the scene where Himeno straight up Ralph's right into Denji's
and
mouth.
We're getting that too. That will be
and
this
he
season.
eats it all up.
He eats it. Do you remember that Sky?
Also, Himeno will die in this season.
Yeah, she definitely will. There's the scene when they're at the bar and Himeno's just freaking wasted, and then Denji's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to kiss you or whatever." And
I
so
do
they
remember
kiss,
it now.
and then Himeno starts throwing up in his mouth. And then Power says, "Oh no, anything that's got any nutritional value that goes into Denji's mouth, he swallows instantly." And so he just starts instantly swallowing all the throw up.
I remember that now. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
It's like he is really a dog.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
If he starved to death, he'll even eat dog shit on the ground.
Probably, dude. I wouldn't put it past
Speaking
him.
of eating dog shit, sorry, I'm cussing a lot.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, speaking of that, wouldn't he restore power by drinking the devil's blood? He did drink some of the bat blood and got some energy back. So wouldn't he just take an intestine and go...
That's what I was thinking too. He could just slurp up some blood on the ground.
Has there been a moment? I don't think there's been a moment in the anime where they realize that they can do that.
Well, he was sucking the bat's blood. He started biting into it.
Aki explained it too at the end in the
true.
hospital with his arm.
Yeah, but during the fight, he didn't really think about it.
Oh, I see.
That becomes a thing later on in the manga where they feed him blood just to make him power again. But Power even gives him blood at one point for a fight, I believe. Anyway, what you were saying with how he is an actual dog, I wanted to talk about this while Skylar was bringing it up in the anime part. The whole Aki is the caller and Makima would essentially be the owner. It's very fitting, obviously, because she's in control. She's the control devil controlling Aki, which would be the caller. Which is, I thought that it's a very, very good very not parallel, but analogy, I guess. A very good analogy. Explanation, simile, I don't know.
Metaphor.
There. I think that's the one. Metaphor.
I realized what I said in the moment of saying that. I said she was the one in control. I let that one slip. I hope no one catches it.
I think you're probably fine. I think
You're just giving a Freudian slip.
Last week I definitely cut out that one section and just placed it into the manga spoiler part.
What section was it?
You said something about Makima being the bad guy, her eyes are given away as the bad guy.
Yeah.
I cut that out and put it in the manga spoilers. Just because I was just like, this is a little
too
much.
on the nose.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
I think this one's fine. I'm gonna leave that one in.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was surprised.
Especially because I covered up at the last second. I was just like, oh yeah, because she's the head in charge. Yeah.
I
Anyways,
was also surprised they did kill off Himino at that moment. It's like, damn, nobody's safe. That's the moment I realized, oh, nobody's safe.
Oh yeah, totally.
He'll kill anyone. It's like, oh, you thought people were safe because it's weekly Shonen Jump. Guess again, bitch.
That'll be like the last 1 or 2 episodes of the season. I bet you
Yeah.
guys. The other thing I wanted to point out that was interesting about the anime with the foreshadowing is when Power's knocking on the door and everybody kind of like looks over at the door, all kind of like, who's there? What's going on? It's very much so foreshadowing when Power knocks on the door and Makima or Denji opens it and Makima kills her. Like very much so. That's exactly what it's foreshadowing. I wouldn't even be surprised if they frame it similarly, like where they kind of like do the whole like, who's at the door? Who's at the door?
Like saying knocking reminds me of those videos where you like play the headphone. It has that realistic knocking where like, it's like
FBI, open up.
No, it's like you play it and then you hear a sound. You hear like knocking, but it's like pitched so like a way where it's like it sounds like you hear it in the background.
Oh, like
you hear it go.
I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
the stuff that Zay was always talking about.
Yeah, where it's like
The weird audio stuff.
Binaural.
Yeah, binaural.
Yeah, binaural. It's like a
binaural sound or whatever.
Yeah, where it's like you hear knocking and you think it's behind. You think someone's knocking behind you.
I don't know if binaural is the correct term, but I do know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. I remember I was watching videos, I think without headphones, but it was kind of loud, and I was hoping I didn't wake the guys up. And this is when Brennan lived here, and one time there's a video where I just heard, and I was like, and I looked at my door, and I was like, and like I opened the door, and you're both asleep, and so it's like turn the volume down, because then I realized then I play it again. It's like, oh, they wouldn't knock like that. My door didn't sound. I know what my door sounds like, but that moment I was like, what?
There's a demon here.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you guys have any other things that you thought about with the manga?
With the manga?
Or no,
like this chapter,
like I guess like a foreshadowing or something, like something that made you go, oh hey, that's like this in the manga, or any, or in the spoiler section.
Well, I already know that the boobs are a lie. Boobs are fake, so
he still gets a grab in there. Yeah. Don't worry,
I don't
he
know
still
if I
gets
noticed anything.
One of the things I saw that people were complaining about is just one of those weird power simp kind of thing, is the last scene where it shows her kind of like grabbing herself and it like cuts on it. In the manga panel, you see her foot too. So people are like, where's the foot? Where's it? Where is it? I was once again impressed by the internet with that one. I don't really have anything else. That was the main two things I was thinking of with just manga spoilers in general. It was fun to see the rest of the group
roll up,
especially knowing what they're gonna what's gonna happen to all of them. Yeah. Say for Kobeni, she's the only one that escapes essentially, but escapes, if you will. She's still get tormented really basically.
But also, doesn't that guy with the scars, doesn't he get decapitated in the Chinese arc?
No, the guy that's buddies with excuse me, with Kobeni.
Yeah,
he just got shot in the head.
Oh yeah.
It's at the end of this season. Yeah. We're gonna see that where all those people get shot in the head and she survives because he protected her.
Oh yeah.
That's what that is. That's who that is. Oh, there's a big theory with that guy specifically that he becomes the devil that always wears that plague doctor mask. They think that that's him.
Whoa.
There's a bunch of good reasons why for it. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but he shows up almost the chapter after he dies, as the other guy dies, and they have very similar I guess clothing and body styles and all that. So people just assume, especially because he becomes Kobeni's buddy as well. So there's lots of reasons for it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the anime. The episode was good. Fun stuff. Looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and just briefly talk about the chapter. There's not a lot to talk about, honestly. The chapter went by really fast. Lots of fighting, lots of action, lots of boom booms and
bam
bams. I don't know what else to say. Thanks, Thing.
Yeah. This one read by really quick, like a regular Chainsaw Man chapter.
Oh, by the way, if you don't want spoilers for that, then
Go read
stop
it.
now.
This is even deeper spoilers.
This is where we're going. This is a final warning for that. Spoilers for the chapter 109.
We spoil everything.
So, just briefly, what happened was the girl becomes an even bigger demon, breaks the school down essentially.
Kill some more bullies.
Kills some more bullies. They were actually public safety people
yeah.
at that point. Like they were trying to stop
It's
it.
like, wait, if there's no school, she like had bizarre logic. Where
Like
it's like, if there's no
the
school,
light bulb. But ding,
There can't
if
be
there's
any
no
more
school,
bullies.
no more
Yeah.
bullies.
blow the school up.
Genius. So remember how we were talking about that?
She's a
that,
walking meme. Like she said, don't come to school tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
There's
dude.
no school. There's
Yeah.
no bullies. Just blow it up.
That chick from last week that we were talking about. She like all of a sudden seems like a not very prominent character all of a sudden because like she was like picked up and like grabbed and stuff, but she didn't die. So I mean, obviously she's gonna go somewhere. But I just thought that was interesting how that person became a background character in the span of a chapter.
I don't even remember her freaking name.
I don't think she had a name.
Oh.
And then Denji shows up at the end and kills I'm assuming they're dead. The demon's dead now, or the devil's dead.
He's known for doing that.
Yeah. I also thought it was hilarious how she couldn't read his mind because all he was thinking about was revealing his secret.
Yeah.
He's a one-track mind.
Yeah.
It's so funny that like a lot of precarious situations that Denji gets in, he gets out of just because he's an idiot.
Oh yeah, totally. That's the common rollback.
Yeah.
Being simple-minded, I guess, has its benefits.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's got something anyway. And then the final shot with
Asa
and Denji. I guess it's not Asa.
It's gonna be a
the
fight.
War
The devil, yeah.
I don't know.
Chainsaw Man.
How do they say the Yoru? Is it Yoru? Is that the War Devil's name? Yoru or something?
Yoru, yeah. I don't
Anyway,
know.
like she was the one like confronting him.
I also saw a theory that the owl is a reference to like Athena in Greek mythology.
The owl?
Yeah,
Where's the owl?
in the first chapter of part 2 where she gets possessed, there's an owl.
Oh, I don't even remember there was an owl.
Yeah, there's an owl. And
That
it
would make
said-
sense
yeah.
because Athena is the god of war.
No,
Well, Ares is, but like, isn't Athena?
I thought Athena was the god of beauty.
No,
or
that's
like god of
Aphrodite.
like justice and
Aphrodite.
order.
Shoot.
Rip bottle. No, I thought
But
she
she
was
is-
like the god of war side
but-
of battle or something. Because like Ares is the god of
But
war. But
people did pray to her at times of battle. So
yeah, I thought it was like
and also Ares and Athena. Cults who worshipped Ares and Athena, they always like butted heads with each other. So
yeah, very similar.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, probably because it's another movie reference. Because
She's
Clash
the
of the
goddess,
Titans.
She's the goddess of war, handicraft, and practical reason.
Get wrecked, Thane. I play Smite.
all right. Well, I play God of War, so
I think that's our episode, guys.
Yeah.
Any other last question or last thoughts you had on Chainsaw Man for the week?
might be more movie references that I'm just missing.
I'm sure there's
because-
plenty that we miss. Like I think he always slips
Yeah.
things in.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing too, though, and this has guys kind of just been my thing that I've always liked to touch on, is just
Chainsaw
Denji's
Man
character.
thinks he's a superhero now. He's embraced the superhero.
He really
Yes.
has.
Yeah.
It's an evil look, my guy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Continue with your thought.
No, I'm done. I'm over it.
I'm sorry. Here, let me guess. You I don't know. I can't read your mind.
Can you read the room? Can you do that at least?
Would you like to hug the Pochita plushie?
I would. Let me hug him.
Make you feel a little bit better.
There. Now I have the dog. I can talk.
He's got the talking dog.
I have the talking dog. It's interesting. I always like to look at Denji's character just because he's really weird. He's not your typical main protagonist, and he doesn't really change all that much. Like, I'm
No.
thinking about it from now till the end of the series. Like, he doesn't change that much as a person, I would say.
I think
I think
it's a
he's
mental
very
thing.
I think he's a very typical shonen protagonist. I think it's the thing is he's a shonen protagonist in a deconstructed shonen world.
I think he's morphed into that shonen
Yeah.
protagonist. I don't think he was it at the beginning of the
Yeah.
series. I think over the entirety of the first chapter or / arc or whatever you want to call it, I think he became the typical shonen protagonist, and now he is that typical shonen protagonist, and now he's not really the focal point anymore as a result. I agree, though. He hasn't changed that much. Like, on the surface, he's the same, but under the surface, he's definitely like a lot more of a different person.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about it too, though, like I guess the way he's reacted to lots of events that has happened throughout his entirety of being Chainsaw Man, he's kind of lifeless the way he reacts to some things. But maybe it's
Yeah.
just because he doesn't know how to process it all.
Or maybe just desensitized to it all
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
and that's probably what it is too. Just a conglomerate of all of it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just an interesting character, and that's one thing I've been trying to do, like with a lot of shows and games and things I've been doing, is breaking down characters and why I like specific characters or what makes a good character arc. Denji's really weird. He's like an anomaly, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
He's just living out. He's out there living his best life.
As a chair. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast. We hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you guys next week for the next episode of Chainsaw Man. Also, we'll see you guys on Friday for the normal episode of the... I lied. Next
2 weeks.
Friday. I'm dumb. We'll see you guys next week for Chainsaw Man. Have a great week and keep your life great. I don't remember. Whatever. Have a good one.